What is mindfulness? Let's find out with the Ladybird Book of Mindfulness. Let us read. Mindfulness is the skill of thinking you are doing something when you are doing nothing. One of the good things about mindfulness is that you get to do a lot of sitting down. Sitting down is good for the mind because so much positive energy is stored in the lab. Now we have to wait for the tractor to pass. It's gone. Let's continue. People who practice mindfulness first find somewhere quiet to sit down. Alan is sitting down in the Falkland Islands. That's Alan. Sophie is concentrating on her breath. It smells of frazzles. She says she has light for breakfast, earth for lunch, and love for supper. But Sophie has also secretly had some frazzles. Wendell achieves a state of mindfulness by imagining he's floating in a beautiful lake until his mind empties of everyday worries. Soon he's aware of himself but no longer worried about money, work, family, or whether he left the taps on. Many home insurance policies now cover acts of mindfulness. Anna has emptied her mind and is just listening to the world around her. She can hear the neighbors arguing. 2 ambulances, a burglar alarm, a child crying, and the sound of dubstep coming from a Subaru Impreza. She's also concentrating on her own feelings like her cystitis. People learn a lot about themselves from mindfulness. Mindfulness had taught Django to live in the moment. He used to live in the Peak District. That's Django. Mindfulness has taught Leanne to accept things as they are. Rubbish, expensive, unfair, and out of date every 6 months. It has also taught her to accept things like cake. Leanne likes cake. There is more wisdom in a waterfall than there is in 100 men, says Jake. Jake is always saying things like this. His ex-wife's sister calls him Jerk. Declan is so mindful that he has forgotten to take his car in for its MOT test. Alison has been staring at this beautiful tree for 5 hours. She was meant to be in the office. Tomorrow she will be fired. In this way, mindfulness will have solved her work-related stress. Clive likes to practice loving-kindness meditation. This is when someone thinks of a friend, then sends them love. Clive finds this easier than bothering to meet his friends or lending them money. Fleur is in a silent retreat. She likes going on retreat because it takes days and nobody demands anything of her. Today, a guest speaker is giving a silent speech, after which there will be a silent question and answer session. It is all very different from life in the Leicester parking shop where she works. The club there is very noisy. That's Fleur. Thaddeus has been practicing self-realization for 5 years. He has come to realize his true self as an air conditioning engineer. He does not miss being Chancellor of the Exchequer. Mia has found a spiritual retreat in West London. This is a shame, as she was hoping her husband would pay for her to go to Thailand. You can achieve mindfulness anywhere, simply by filling your mind with images of calm, serenity, or wonder. By practicing mindfulness, Martin has found inner peace, even though he is being kidnapped by swans. Valentine became a Buddhist. because he was interested in Dharma. Dharma is a word for cosmic law and order. Valentine is sad. He thought Dharma was a type of curry. In ancient times, Guru Beland entered a state of mindfulness that lasted 35 years. During this time, he thought about everything. When he had finished, he wrote the answer on a grain of rice. He never married. Sometimes life can be too noisy. Try not speaking for a while. Let people know what you want with a smile or a frown, or by throwing your keys at the back of their head. Jane has tried many ways of energizing and detoxing. She went on a raw food diet, but the chicken made her very poorly. Then her tutor told her to be like water. Jane thought this was a good idea. Now, just like water, she is drunk most lunchtimes. Todd liked extreme mindfulness. Today he's emptying his mind on a tight rope high above Poole Harbor. The people on the pleasure cruiser below hope that Todd doesn't empty any other part of his body. That's Todd on a tight rope high above Poole Harbor. New sorts of mindfulness are popping up all the time. This is aqua mindfulness. There are now courses for cardio mindfulness, cockney mindfulness, honey roast mindfulness, micro mindfulness, and mindlessness. In mindlessness, you have to beat up your inner total stranger. Catriona is in love with the earth, but she worries that it does not love her back. Maybe joining Friends of the Earth was a mistake. Now, the earth will never see her as more than that. Tom and Mozart have gone on a rafting retreat in California. With only a bottle of water and an inspirational haiku, they must find their way to a state of intense curiosity and awareness. They are lost and tired, and Mozart wants to give up and go and find some hookers. That's boys. Laura tried mindfulness to get in touch with her inner child. It turns out that Laura's inner child had been prescribed an experimental cough medicine and was having some very vivid dreams. Poor Laura. So now you know what mindfulness is. Bye.